Hi Aries, this is Tisch Aitken, and this is your monthly astrological report for the month of July 2022. If you could please subscribe to my channel, I would really appreciate it. So a lot of activity going on in your world because there are 4 points transiting in the cardinal fire sign of Aries. Jupiter, which is the grand benefic, the planet of expansion and good fortune, entered your sign on May 10th. And Jupiter takes approximately 12 years to transit. And then when it transits in your sign, it opens up many doors in many different areas of your life. It's going to transit in Aries until October 28th. It will return to the final 2 degrees of Pisces from October 28th until December 20th, when it returns to your sign, and it will transit in Aries until May 16th. So on and off, you have the planet of abundance and expansion transiting in your sign through the middle of next year. And that really helps to bring in a lot of good luck and new options into your life. It brings hope. It brings optimism, new relationships, and just partnering with the world in many different regards. Mars, which rules your sign, entered the cardinal fire sign of Aries on May 24th. It will leave on July 5th, and it's wrapping it up now. But that brings a new 2-year cycle of getting things accomplished. You are a very action, goal-oriented sign, and having Jupiter bringing a lot of new expansion into your life and abundance, and having Mars bringing a lot of drive and initiative, this has been very helpful. Chiron, the wounded healer, is also transiting in Aries, and that's focusing on vulnerability and healing up painful situations, or just, around self, maybe issues you have around your own fragility that we all have in some way or another. And then Eris, the goddess of discord, is also transiting in Aries. So you've been very busy. Venus, the planet of love and money, and Mercury, the planet of communication, learning, sales, and marketing, have been transiting in your house of local community, local neighborhood events, teaching, learning, and travel. So, being very socially engaged, partnering with others, and dealing with sales and marketing. And if you're looking for a job, excellent energy for interviewing and meeting with others, communication of all forms. If you have your own business, also excellent for promoting yourself, because with Jupiter, the luckiest planet, that's bringing many new things into your life. And so the sun is transiting in your house of home and family in the sign of Cancer, bringing light to that area of your life as well. So we begin the month, and on July 1st, Mars, which rules your sign, the planet of action and passion and anger at times, forms a challenging influence to Pluto, the planet of power and elimination. And that occurs at 10:14 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that can bring power struggles for you professionally. People could definitely be looking for a fight with that energy. So use that to focus on getting hard work accomplished, eliminating habits that you want to eliminate in order to become more empowered, but lay low if you are able. On July 2nd, Mercury, the planet of communication, forms a very helpful aspect to Saturn, the planet of structure, at 6:39 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that energy is very helpful for your communication and engaging in negotiations, and just feeling structured in your work. However, Mercury also forms a more challenging influence to Neptune, which is the planet of illusion and creativity, but also confusion. and that occurs at 4:53 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So good day for getting things done and doing work, but very good for creative endeavors. And it could feel a little confusing. So working on your own would be a good use of that energy. On July 5th, we have two planetary changes. Mars, which rules your sign, leaves your sign of Aries and enters the fixed Earth sign of Taurus at 2:04 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, where it will transit until August 20th. And Mars is now entering your house of income, money, what you value, and possessions, bringing a lot of new opportunities to make money and have work that brings in financial opportunities, and being very busy. Be careful of overspending with that cycle, but that's a busy one as well. And then Mercury, the planet of communication, changes signs at 2:25 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time and enters the cardinal water sign of Cancer, where it will be until July 19th, transiting in your house of home and emotional security. If you have your own business, excellent for doing business at home, excellent for getting your home organized or doing some repairs or decorating. A lot of focus on, there's a lot of time options for you to expand with Jupiter and all of this energy in your chart, but also on getting your needs met and restoring at home as well. July 9th, Mercury squares Jupiter, the luckiest planet, and Jupiter is transiting in your sign. And that is a very expansive energy. It's an optimistic energy as well. That occurs at 2:14 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That could just be having a lot to do, having, too much of everything, but it's not a negative energy. On June 10th, the sun forms a helpful aspect to Uranus. That's very innovative energy, and that occurs at 4:39 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That could bring you positive financial opportunities and good options at home. And then on July 13th, there is a full moon that day. So Venus, the planet of love and money, forms a positive aspect to Saturn, the planet of stability and structure, at 12:28 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that is good for relationships. Full moons are obviously a time of intensified emotions and such, but that's a nice energy leading in. And then the full moon occurs at 2:37 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 21 degrees and 21 minutes of the cardinal Earth sign of Capricorn. Now that's a very critical degree because it sets off where the Saturn-Pluto conjunction occurred on January 12th of 2020. And that was the legendary conjunction that brought down the structures in our world. And for you, that occurred in your house of career and life goals and what you're trying to accomplish. And the two met up at the world point, hitting every one of us. And now this full moon in Capricorn sets off that, unforgettable pairing. And those are the two traditional malefics of the zodiac. Saturn represents limits and restrictions and karma. Pluto is the planet of death and fate in some regard as well. And both, do not mess around if you really have to face something. So they can be very difficult when paired together. Perhaps this brings release and letting go of the story that we're still working with in some way or another from a few years ago. We're not done with this energy completely. So letting go as we're in the final chapter of the new age of Aquarius, which is finding innovation and community in a very difficult time. So that's a full moon not to forget. And then let's see here. On July 14th, Venus, the planet of relationships and value forms a challenging aspect to Neptune, the planet of illusion and dreams. And that occurs at 1:24 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that can be misleading in relationships. It can feel just a bit sensitive and vulnerable, good for doing manifesting work, but there could be disappointment with that aspect. On July 17th, we have some good aspects that day, so that's helpful. Let's see. Mercury forms a beautiful aspect to Neptune, and that's a very positive energy, and that occurs, let's see, that occurs at, I'm forgetting right now, that occurs at 3:52 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, very manifesting energy. Neptune is the higher octave of Venus, so that's very creative, and with Mercury involved, that's also very good for getting work done and for thinking and really, bringing in new opportunities. And then the Sun forms a helpful aspect to Neptune at 6:55 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that's a lovely energy too, and very, manifesting and good for doing creative work. Venus changes signs at 9:32 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time and enters the cardinal water sign of Cancer, and it'll be there until August 11th, transiting in your house of home and family, more focus on beautifying that area of your life and also ensuring that you get your needs met and feel content. On July 18th, Mercury forms a challenging aspect. It forms an opposition to Pluto, the planet of death and rebirth, at 3:01 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That could bring some blow-ups with communication with family or home or at the workplace, and it could definitely represent some endings or changes, but know that people could be a little riled up with that energy, so try to lay low with that. And then on July 19th, Mercury changes signs and enters the fixed fire sign of Leo at 8:35 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, where it will transit until August 4th. And it's transiting in your house of creativity and love and romance and children and inner children. So having some fun and, feeling a little bit more playful with that energy. And then another big aspect for you or influence is that Chiron, the wounded healer, retrogrades at 11:21 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 16 degrees and 26 minutes of the cardinal fire sign of Aries. Chiron is an asteroid that represents wounds and healing. So really focusing for you how you can address any vulnerability or shame or fear you may have to empower yourself. So it may feel painful, but it actually is a very useful energy for you to really up-level yourself to a whole other degree. And then on that same date, let's see, on the 19th, no, not on that date, but on the 22nd, the Sun enters the fixed fire sign of Leo, transiting in your house of romance and fun. So good for socializing, good for romantic opportunities. And that occurs at 4:07 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and it will transit there until July 22nd. And that's nice energy for you for meeting people and connecting. And then on July 25th, Venus and Jupiter, the two benefics of the zodiac, clash in the sky. Venus squares Jupiter at 2:13 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That can be, I don't think that's negative, that's just excessive energy. It could be actually fun energy as well. And a lot of focus for you on home and on getting your needs met, etc. And then on, let's see, on July 26th, Mercury squares Mars, and that occurs at 3:13 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. People could be combative with that energy. July 28th is another significant day. We have a, let's see, a full moon, a new moon that occurs at 1:55 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that full moon is at 5 degrees and 39 minutes of the fixed fire sign of Leo. Very optimistic, loving, romantic energy in your house of romance and fun. If you're looking to meet people, excellent energy for setting intentions in that area. Also good for having fun, good for dealing with children and for creative endeavors. And then Jupiter, the grand benefic, retrogrades in your sign at 4:37 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 8 degrees and 43 minutes of the cardinal fire sign of Aries. Now this set off where Chiron, the wounded healer, retrograded in 2021. It got as far as 8 degrees of Aries. Now expanding through being fearless and taking new leaps of faith and new beginnings in your life, but you feel the buildup 5 days before and 5 days after. And Jupiter is the luckiest and the biggest planet. It's in your house of new beginnings and self. How can you expand yourself? How can you bring in an even better future in a time where you have a lot of opportunity to do so? And then on July 31st, Uranus, the planet of surprise, chaos, and innovation, meets up with the North Node of Karma at 3:05 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time in your house of income, money, and what you value. And that could bring new financial opportunities. The other thing on the 28th is that Mercury, the planet of communication, is going to make a square to Uranus, the planet of the unexpected, at 5:16 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So you get a lot of information around that time, sudden news, etc., but how you can make money, how you can really expand in this time. I wish you a lot of luck, Aries, and thank you very much.